to another Ask Nerida Joy video. I have Laila back here with us today. It is your third treatment? A fourth treatment here today, Laila's fourth treatment. It's been about 6 weeks since we saw Laila, and I know we're going to slip in some pictures here so you can see where we started with Laila's skin. We are dealing with a drier skin, but one that was sort of lacking in tone previously, with some brown spots. I know that Laila has said she was very excited to tell me that she used to have a darker spot up here, and we'll show you those pictures. We'll slip those in here on the video. This darker spot up here that she had on her right side has completely gone. We've lightened up a lot around her eyebrow on her left eye, but just improve the tone in her skin so much, and that's what's so wonderful. Just with her home care regimen and having good facials, this is now her fourth. We had not put Laila on any retinols. So she has strictly been using the alpha hydroxy acids, and that's a cream that contains a little bit of glycolic. But it's really improved her skin. Her skin's a lot stronger. It just looks a lot brighter. It's more youthful looking. I know that she's had people at her work asked her if she'd had some surgery done. Of course, that's not the case. And so we're just really happy to see Laila and how much her skin has improved just from being on a really good home care regimen. So I'm going to cleanse off her skin right now. And we're using the K gel cleanser. It's a non-foaming gel cleanser. It's a lot firmer, her skin. It doesn't move as much move with my hands. Sometimes when I start working on people, and it doesn't even matter with their age, but sometimes when I start working on their skin, the skin moves a lot with my hands, and it's not well supported underneath. So what's really nice is that I can feel how much stronger Laila's skin is, and it's much more supported, the layers, the levels underneath there, and that's really wonderful. And that's the wonderful things that you can get from an alpha hydroxy acid. You know what we do know that the alpha hydroxy acids do, and that is your glycolic, lactic, malic, tartaric, and citrus, is that these molecules, they work on stimulating the fibroblast cells, and the fibroblast cells is the batteries to our collagen and elastin fibers. So once you stimulate fibroblast cells, you get change. You see change in the skin, and that is within the depth of a wrinkle. That is within lightening brown spots, whether it be brown spots or melasma, or it also, you know, your AHAs also shrink pore size. And I always say it's really important to have your pores cleaned before you then do a stronger alpha hydroxy acid to shrink them. But it shrinks your pore size, and your pores will stay smaller if you're using AHAs on a regular basis too. So it's just really important to know that you don't have to use anything prescription strength to get results and to get really good results. In fact, a lot of the time, you know, things that are prescription strength, particularly retinols, they're very aggressive, and a lot of people can't use them on a regular basis because they are just too strong. So it's important. The consistency of what you're doing with your home care regimen is very, very important, and just using products that make a difference and that work for you. So, you know, everything has a purpose. I talk a lot about this. Every product that you're using, it has a purpose. And you want to be putting things on your client's skin that has a purpose, and you know exactly what you need to work with to help to help your client's skin be better, and you're using the products accordingly to do that, to make that change happen. So we're going to remove the cleanser. I'm just using disposable sponges here. They're the little cellulose sponges that come very flat until you put them in water, and of course then they expand, and these ones in particular are really great. They come in packs of 24, and I really like them. They're very soft. They're very soft on the skin, not irritating at all. Some of them are irritating. So mine are a round cellulose sponge, and they look like this. They come in packs like this. 24 in a pack, and You know, some of the ones in a stick, when I've used those in the past and I put them in water, they have fibers in them that sometimes are a little bit harsh and scratchy. So I really like these ones in particular. They're very nice, and they're very soft and gentle. Okay, we're going to do a light exfoliation on Laila's skin right now, and that is going to be my exfoliating product that has a little bit of the papaya. It also has a little bit of glycolic in it. I'm going to mix it with a healing gel, work that into the skin just for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to be taking that off. This is the exfoliating mask. I've got it mixed with a little bit of healing gel, and we're going to just work this into the skin for a minute or two, and until I feel it starting to dry, and then I'm going to take it off. Now, this is not something that somebody has to use at home all the time. If the skin is really oily and thickened and it's, you know, harder to keep clean, then an exfoliant is really good to have. And especially one that has a buffing effect on the epidermis like this, which is a cream form of an exfoliant. It doesn't have granules in it. So, you know, this has that buffing effect. It gets rid of that dry outer layer. It allows for your treatment products to be better absorbed into the skin. And it's nice to work into the skin. And I especially like to do it when I'm doing a facial treatment. I like to exfoliate the skin, even though it may not be something that I send my client home with. It's not necessary for everybody. But in treatment, I like to do that because I like to be able to get to the levels that I want to work on, and I want to work a little bit more aggressive than what she's going to be using at home with her own regimen. And that's how we take the skin to another level, because facial treatments are boosting treatments for the skin, you know, whether you're doing extractions, whether you're massaging the skin a lot. But the treatment products that you're using in a facial, they're boosting the skin and taking the skin to another level. And that's really important to determine what it is that you're going to be doing to help make the skin better for your client. So we're working that in. It's starting to dry now, so I'm going to remove that. Now, sometimes, and I've spoken about this in other videos, is I talk a lot about brushes, and some people like to use brushes when they're applying the exfoliant or putting masks onto the skin or working in serums around the eyes or cream. Sometimes the brushes, you know, they're nice. It is a personal thing, and if you like to use them, it's perfectly fine. I choose not to use brushes in my treatments too much, more because it is something that when you are busy with clients, you have to clean your brushes, and you've got to clean them really well. So sometimes if you don't have a lot of time in your treatments and you're booked back to back, if I work with things that are disposable, like my sponges and Q-tips, because I can throw them out rather than it be a spatula, then it's easier for me, because that way I'm, you know, keeping everything clean and hygienic, and that's really important in your work environment. So what I'm doing here is we've cleansed, we've exfoliated Laila's skin. I'm now going to be working in a professional retinol. I'm going to be working in my Q flavonoid. We're going to give her skin that boost. I haven't seen her for 6 weeks. I'm going to start working in some treatment serums, and then I'm going to be massaging her skin. Now remember, Laila's not using a retinol at home. She is using AHAs and constantly seeing improvement. So, you know, if you keep up and you keep using your regimen at home, your skin is going to just get a little bit better, but it's going to constantly be improving, and that's what happens. So some people get a little impatient and they want to go stronger quickly, and then they'll go and use something too strong, and then it messes it up and makes the skin very sensitive, and then you can't continue doing these, you know, these little steps along the way. So it's important, if for you Esties out there, to really, you know, communicate with your clients and to let them know that it's you know, it is a gradual process of building the skin and making the skin strong and sturdy and pretty and youthful. It's not something that just happens overnight that's going to maintain that way. So, you know, people are very quick to do a lot of different things. But, you know, as I talk about this, there's a price you pay for a lot of it. So you don't want to fall into that mentality of thinking that stronger is better, because that it doesn't work like that. So you really want to support the skin You know, the skin as we get older, it gets thinner. You want to be constantly building and supporting and layering and just protecting the skin from the environment because the sun is the most aging of all. So it's really important that you're constantly supporting the skin in the layers, in what you're putting on the skin, that everything has a purpose, everything is supporting one another and supporting their skin to be the best it can be. Okay, so we're putting an eye cream around Laila's eyes. It's important that you, when you're putting your eye cream on, and even at home, that you put it in a complete circle. You want to make sure you're getting up underneath the brow bone, because this is an area that's often, it doesn't get, it gets a lot of sun and it doesn't get protection. So it's important to put your eye product on in a complete circle around the eyes. And also if you have a little extra over, you know, this is an area that you can then go and use around the lips and use it above the lips and work it in around the lip area because an eye cream is different from a face cream. It's more refined, its molecules are generally smaller because the eye area is a more delicate skin. It's a finer skin, it's not as thickened, you don't have as many layers, it's a completely different skin there. You don't have the sebaceous activity down, you know, closer up under the eye area like you do on other areas of the face. So it's an area that, you know, it's nice to, you know, that's why, you know, it's nice to work in certain areas that are a little bit more delicate, where the skin is a little bit different. And that's why we have eye creams, you know, is because they are a more refined cream. They're designed especially for an area that's more delicate. And, you know, that's why sometimes when people say, but can't I use my face cream around my eyes? It's like, you know, in some cases, maybe, but, you know, it's just not worth it, because sometimes if you're using a product that's designed for the face, sometimes you'll end up with milias around the eye because it's just too nourishing and it suffocates the skin, or it's just too much. So it's important, you know, to understand that that's why we have eye creams. It is a different formula. And I don't like to work with things that are too strong around the eyes, that are going to take the layers back too much. Whereas on the face is different, and it can take that. It can take stronger products, a stronger retinol, for instance. But the eye area is very different, very delicate. You want to really be supporting the blood vessels, because often darkness that gets to the shadow around the eye is, if you stretch the skin, it is a blue vein. So you want to be using an eye product that really supports and coats that blood vessel, so that it supports that, and that, you know, that's really important, to be supporting every area of the face. You know, you're going to be looking at, you know, each inch of that face, and you're going to treat it accordingly. It's different parts, it's all different. So you want to make sure that you're treating it the best way you can. Okay, so this product that I'm using on Laila is a nourishing cream. And what I have on her skin right now is a mixture of my retinol, my flavonoid, which has the arnica and mallow and your vitamin P, vitamin K, it has these in it. And I'm going to now work in this nourishing cream. I'm going to add a little bit of my evening primrose oil that has that gamma-linolenic acid, and it supports, it's very nice for sensitive skin, and a lot of people are very sensitive. I'm going to work this into the skin, and I'm going to massage her skin right now. I'm going to give a fairly strong massage, especially around the neck and that jaw area, because being in the place of having neck issues myself, meaning that it's not my favorite part of my face, my neck. It's an area that I'm constantly trying to work to improve, to keep it as youthful looking as possible, and that's challenging. Especially if you're not wanting to have a neck lift. So it's an area that really needs support, and as we know, massage, it stimulates muscle tone, it brings oxygen to the blood, and that's all very important when you want your skin to be healthy and pretty. So I do a lot of rolling movements on the neck and the décolleté. Laila has really, really pretty skin. She's got a really good neck. She's got a really good décolleté. She protects her skin from the sun. I can see that she's been good about that. And so we're going to do a nice firm massage here on this area here around the jaw. I'm going to be doing work on her forehead as we continue the massage, and around her eyes too. So don't be afraid to massage the skin. It stimulates muscle tone, and I'm going to say it again, it stimulates muscle tone. What does that mean? It means it makes your skin stronger. So the idea of someone thinking that massage stretches the skin is wrong. What massage does is it stimulates muscle tone. It brings oxygen to the blood. That's very, very important. And I know, and I've spoken about this before in previous videos, the more massages you have even on your body, the firmer your skin will be. It's a very important thing, not just because our bodies are made of more than 70% water and you have to constantly be keeping it moving to flush out toxins and to keep the body healthy. Not only is massage important in keeping everything moving, it's really important just in how it tones and tightens the skin. And this is what works. And I know that because I've done it myself and I've been doing this for so long, that it really changes the skin. It makes the skin healthy and it makes the skin pretty. So something that was said to me recently, and I was so happy to hear this, is that I had a client that came to see me, and she is married to a facial plastic surgeon. And she said to me that she hasn't done anything to herself. She's a woman in her early 60s. And she said to me, she told me that she's married to a facial plastic surgeon, and he has now retired. And she said to her husband, I think I want to have a facelift. And she said, how do you feel about that? And he said, you can have a facelift. And he said, but let me tell you something. He said, I'm going to tell you that you are going to look better than your friends for the next 10 years. You are going to look better than your friends. But because of the type of skin that you have, that you are a thinner skin as you get older, you are not going to be able to hide the scars. The thinner your skin gets, and that's what happens when we age, the skin gets thinner. The thinner the skin gets, you are not going to be able to hide the scars. That what you do when you have a facelift is that you damage the nerves and you damage the blood supply to the face. And that is a problem. So I was so happy to hear a facial plastic surgeon saying this. And he's saying this to his wife is don't have a facelift, because you're going to be sorry in 10 years and you're going to damage the blood supply to your skin. And if you damage blood supply to the skin does not stay looking pretty and healthy. So, it's things that you really have to think about. And this woman is, as I said, married to a plastic surgeon, doesn't really do very much to her face at all, other than take care of her skin, having facials, having massage, but she hasn't had any surgery, and her skin was beautiful. And I have to say, I was just really happy to hear that that doctors are talking like this, and that they're explaining that there is issues later in life. So there is a price you pay for surgeries, and for the consumers out there that are watching the videos, and for you Esties out there, it's important to understand that, because we hear and we see a lot in this business, and it's important to talk about this and to educate your clients, because they don't realize that the different things that can happen, and there's many different things that happen. And it's even with facelifts, if you look at somebody that's had a facelift, you don't know that they can't feel anything on this side of their face because they've got nerve damage, or you don't know when you look at them other issues that they have, that their hairline is a problem and their recede. It really creates a whole gamut of issues. So I just want people to be more aware of this. I think that you do what makes you happy and what makes you feel good on the inside, and that is a reflection. That will be a reflection on the outside. But I say this and I say it over and over again, there is a price you pay when you start cutting the skin and you start cutting and affecting nerves, and there is a big price, and a lot of people don't talk about that. and it's something that's important for me to talk about, and I hope that you will share information to your clients and educate your clients, and don't be afraid to let them know, because otherwise how are they going to learn? So we're continuing massaging Laila's skin here. As we move on here, I am going to very shortly be starting a podcast, and my podcast, I will be speaking to many different doctors about concerns and questioning about a lot of things, and so it's very important to me to try and educate consumers and to help you understand the many different things that I say. There's a price you pay for a lot of things. And I, people that have been watching my YouTube channel know that I have a lot to say. I'm starting the podcast because I need to. And it's very important to me that a lot of things that I hear about working with facial plastics, being involved with magazines and working with doctors that, that do wonderful, wonderful work, but there are a lot of things that are just not really talked about. And that's something that I want to bring awareness to you SDs, to be able to communicate to your clients, and for you non-SDs that are watching my channel. So I will be starting a podcast shortly, and we will have a lot of really interesting things and topics on there, and interesting people that I will be seeing, that you will all be able to see and hear and learn and grow, as we all will be doing that. So I look forward to sharing that with you very soon. Okay, as we wind down now on the massage. So I'm going to leave this on Laila. I'm going to layer masks over top, work masks into the skin, continue massaging, but I'm going to be working in the mask right now. Okay, so what I've done here, we've worked in a little bit of that evening primrose oil. I've got, I'm working in the mask. I'm leaving it all on Laila's skin. I have the hydrating mask here. I've mixed a little bit of my retinol, a little bit of the Q flavonoid with it, working it in together. And as I work this in, and I'm going to massage the mask into her skin, this one does not dry, the hydrating mask. It's a nourishing mask. It's often given out to people that have dry skin, that is something they can use as a moisturizer. And they could use it on a regular basis, or not, if they're just traveling and they're going to an area where it's very dry or very windy, because again, it protects the skin. But because it's a mask and I like to massage the skin a lot, I'm just going to work this into Laila's skin, and it is the evening time over here. So Laila will be going home, and she's just going to leave it all on her skin. So again, I've layered a lot. I'm just working it in where we've got the delivery system of the retinol that I'm working with her today. She uses not retinols at home, but she does use alpha hydroxy acids on a daily basis. And so I'm doing a boost on her skin today. That's why I'm using retinols, something a little bit different. And we're just going to work this in the skin. She's going to keep it on her skin, and then she'll be going home. But we are going to work it in. I'm going to massage it a lot right now, continue massaging her skin, because I'm such a fan of massage. Laila's eye area is so much better too than it used to be. It's she used to have a lot more color around her eyes, and so that eye area is really picked up, but her skin is just so much more youthful looking than when we first started with her. And a lot of people like to massage the ears, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's all good. The skin around the ears gets neglected, so sometimes that's really nice to work that skin and just make sure you're massaging it, especially if someone has short hair. Or they wear their hair back a lot. The top of the ear sometimes can be really sun damaged, so you want to make sure that that areas of the ear is really getting treated. Is very important to just check all those areas out and make sure that it's keeping up with their face. Laila has a really good upper lip. She doesn't have many vertical lines on her upper lip, and that's wonderful because it's a challenging area for a lot of people, especially if they drink from straws, and so that's really nice that her upper lip is really excellent. People that drink from a straw all the time, the squeezing the upper lip, the skin, they often end up with a lot of very deep vertical lines. So it's nice to be conscious of that. And again, mention that to your clients if you find your client has a lot of vertical lines above their lip. Okay, so we're finishing off here now. It's all going to stay on her skin, and she's going to go to bed as is. So it has been wonderful having you all here watching again another Ask Nerida Joy video. And for Laila, it's thank you. Laila, this will be her last video we're doing. This is her 4th video. We have seen tremendous results, tremendous benefits on Laila's skin, and her skin just looks really young and pretty and youthful. And as I said, that's what we're here to do, is make a difference for our clients. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Laila, again for coming back and being here with us and showing us how beautiful what we can do is really wonderful and extraordinary. So we'll see you all back again soon for another Ask Nerida Joy video. And don't forget, look out for my podcast because it will be coming very soon.